Hey friends! Who is the celebrity whose face we all know, plastered all over advertisements and seemingly harmless until he was tried and convicted for sexual offenses against minors? Keep watching to find out. Celebrities sometimes go to jail, we know that. But friends, do you know which celebs are still serving lengthy prison sentences for crimes they committed? We'll be talking about them and more today. Before we dive in and discuss, go ahead and click subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you'll never miss out on our future videos. And give this video a thumbs up if you were shocked that certain celebrities are still serving their prison sentences. Here we go.
This is not me, y'all. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
Depending on your knowledge of hip-hop history, you may know about the drama that went down between Suge Knight and various other rap and hip-hop celebrities from Compton, California. Well, Suge Knight was a record producer, music executive, and professional football player, and also a convicted felon. So the drama was pretty intense. He was the co-founder and CEO of Death Row Records, which represented huge names like Dr. Dre, Tupac, and Snoop Dogg. Well, he was also known for stirring up a little bit of legal trouble. There were numerous legal issues involving violence and attempted murder, some of which millions of viewers saw in Straight Outta Compton. There was a lot of friction between him and the others at Death Row Records, but it wasn't actually those issues that ended up putting Suge Knight behind bars for his most recent violation. In 2018, he pleaded no contest to voluntary manslaughter for a hit and run, and the person he hit did indeed die from the impact. So for this, Knight was sentenced to 28 years in prison. He is still serving his prison sentence at a correctional facility in San Diego and will not be eligible for parole until 2037. If we're talking about big names in music, we have to talk about the descent of R. Kelly. Over the last few years, numerous allegations have surfaced about various crimes committed by the R&B and hip-hop star. I mean, he was known for having redefined the genre and was wildly successful in the music industry. But when the sexual assault, sexual abuse, and misconduct allegations arose, namely towards underage girls, dating back all the way to the 1990s, and they all began to come to light, the world was shocked, but he denied all the claims. Back in 2002, he was indicted on 13 counts of child pornography, but was eventually acquitted of all the charges in 2008. Well, in the middle of 2019, he was indicted on 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse, and we started to see all of the documentaries, the docuseries, and the stories about the music industry coming to light. On July 11, 2019, R. Kelly was arrested for the federal charges of alleged sex crimes and obstruction of justice. Well, he was then indicted by a grand jury on 18 charges of kidnapping, forced labor, child sexual exploitation, child pornography production, and obstruction of justice. He has been incarcerated for a little over a year now, awaiting trial at a correctional facility in Chicago, and has been denied bail a total of 3 times. He even submitted a request to a judge to be released once the coronavirus hit back in March, stating he was a high-risk case, but his request was denied, and he remains locked up. He was the spokesperson and made a name for himself being the face of numerous ad campaigns for Subway. Remember him in all the Subway commercials? Apparently, he had lost a ton of weight due to eating Subway sandwiches, which makes me go, But he was definitely a face that became recognizable. Well, friends, like we said at the beginning, Jared Fogle definitely had some sinister things going on under the surface. In 2015, though, his 5-year stint with Subway came to an end when he was arrested for receiving child pornography and paying for sex with minors. Apparently, the FBI had been investigating him for years, since 2007, after he made some sexual comments about middle school girls to a journalist. When they raided his house a few years later, in addition to the child pornography they found on his laptop and other devices, they found text messages between him and Subway franchisee Cindy Mills, which revealed conversations of Fogle asking Mills to set up a sexual encounter between him and Mills' underage cousin. So when he was arrested and charged, he actually pled guilty to the offenses officially on November 19, 2015. His sentence, 15 years and 8 months in federal prison. He also must serve a minimum of 13 years before being eligible for early release. What do you think? Do you think his sentence fits the crime, or do you think he should have been given a different sentence? definitely let us know in the comments. Friends, let's talk about Ronnie OrtizMagro, better known as one of the 8 main cast members of the popular reality TV show Jersey Shore. He was in a relationship with one of the other actresses, Sammy, but they were on and off, eventually announcing the official end of their relationship in the middle of 2014. Well, a few years later in 2018, he was arrested and charged for a domestic violence altercation with then-girlfriend Jen Harley. And at the beginning of 2019, he then checked himself into rehab for alcoholism and depression.
I decided to go to treatment because, like I said, I was just making wrong decisions, and I was very depressed.
Well, although the altercation was pretty bad and he thought he might face a felony charge, it turned out that he didn't face a felony charge, only a misdemeanor domestic violence charge. People before that were sure he would go to jail for the crimes. Well, in February of 2020, 2 of the charges were actually dropped, and in May of 2020, he took a plea deal, pleading no contest to a single count of domestic battery and 1 count of resisting arrest. He's serving his probation and community service currently, though the world is biting their fingernails on whether he'll mess up, violate probation, and end up behind bars. This next celebrity is serving a life sentence in a California prison for his crimes. Joseph's son was a mixed martial artist and actor before he became a convicted felon. He was involved in a 1990 gang rape, so if convicted, he was facing a maximum sentence of 275 years to life. And things just get worse and worse from here on out. So on January 28, 2011, he was sentenced to 17 years and 4 months in a state prison. Well, later that year, on September 19th, he was sentenced again to 7 years to life. And it doesn't stop there. Son was then the main suspect in the killing of his cellmate, Michael Thomas Graham, who was a convicted sex offender. He was found beaten to death. Well, Son was charged for the murder and sentenced to an additional 27 years in prison. Tay-K's rap song The Race did very, very well on American charts. It reached number 4 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and actually went platinum as well in early 2018. The rapper and songwriter Tay-K is also a convicted murderer. The song actually only went viral after he was arrested by US Marshals after a 3-month stint of being on the run. And a huge manhunt had taken place to find him after he committed murder. On July 15, 2019, he pled guilty to 2 counts of aggravated robbery in the Mansfield home invasion. Well, his conviction included those 2 counts and a 3rd charge of aggravated robbery as well as murder. A few days later, on July 23rd, he was sentenced to 55 years in prison, mostly due to the murder charges, and will not be eligible for parole for a little over 27 years in prison due to the nature of his crimes. Well, friends, there you have it. Celebs who are still in jail and undergoing legal proceedings for their various crimes. What do you all think about the examples we included here, and do you think they should have received harsher or lighter sentences? And do you know of other celebrities who are still in prison that we didn't include here? Leave us a comment below. As usual, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell as we bring you more juicy info, gossip, and speculation about the shows and stars you know and love. Until next time.